Today, we are going to explore one of the most powerful books on productivity and success. A book that changes the way we think about focus, priorities, and results. The title of the book is The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. It is not only about managing time or setting goals, but about choosing what truly matters most. The authors begin with a simple but extraordinary question. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? At first, this question feels simple, but when we apply it to real life, it has the power to completely transform the way we work and live. We all know how busy and distracted modern life has become. There are endless tasks, constant messages, and pressure to do more every single day. Many people believe that working harder and adding more tasks will lead to success. But the truth is, it often leaves us tired, stressed, and less effective. This book explains that real success comes from focusing on less, not more. By putting energy into the single most important activity, results grow faster and with more meaning. The writers highlight how most of us believe in common myths about productivity. One example is the idea that everything matters equally, but in reality, only a few things matter while most are just noise. Successful people understand how to identify those few important actions. They prioritize with clarity instead of trying to do everything at once. Another common myth is multitasking. People feel proud of handling many things together, but the brain is not designed for it. When we switch rapidly between tasks, we lose focus and waste energy. The quality of work drops and progress slows down instead of speeding up. The book also questions the idea of balance in life. It suggests that extraordinary results require focus, not equal attention on everything. To make real progress, sometimes we must allow imbalance. We may spend more energy on one area while keeping others stable in the background. This doesn't mean ignoring important responsibilities. It means putting first priority on the action that brings the greatest positive impact. What makes The One Thing special is its practical tool called the focusing question. This question can be asked in every area of life, from health to relationships to career. What is the one thing I can do right now that will make other things easier or unnecessary? When we ask this regularly, the mind learns to cut through distractions and find clarity. As we continue this summary, we will see how these ideas connect to daily life. The beauty of this method is that it teaches us to work smarter, not harder. It is not about saying yes to everything. It is about saying yes to what truly matters and no to what wastes energy. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by too many tasks or unsure about where to begin, this book will guide you toward a simple yet powerful path of clarity and purpose. In the second part of this journey, the book takes us deeper into the idea of focus. It explains that extraordinary success always comes from narrowing our concentration, not expanding it. Most people spend their days chasing too many goals. They try to improve everything at once, but end up making only small progress in many areas. The authors remind us that success leaves clues. When we study high achievers, we find that they identify one priority and put all their energy into it. This is where the concept of the domino effect comes in. When you line up dominoes correctly, the smallest one can knock down a much larger one, and so on until huge results appear. Life works the same way. When we identify the first domino, the right one thing, it sets off a chain reaction that creates progress beyond our expectations. Instead of asking, "What do I need to do today?" the more powerful question is, "What is the one thing that, if done today, will make the biggest difference?" This approach saves us from spreading our attention too thin. It also brings a sense of purpose, because each day we know exactly what deserves our best effort. The book also highlights the danger of willpower. We often think willpower is always available, but in truth it is limited and works like a battery. When we wake up, our energy and willpower are strongest. But as the day passes, it becomes weaker, and we lose the ability to make good decisions. That is why the authors suggest tackling the one most important task as early as possible. When you give your best hours to your top priority, the results are much greater. This method prevents procrastination. It builds a sense of discipline without forcing yourself to fight against distractions all day long. Another key insight from the book is the difference between being busy and being productive. Busy people try to do everything, while productive people focus on what matters most. We sometimes confuse motion with progress. Just because we are moving doesn't mean we are moving forward in the right direction. The book teaches us to constantly evaluate our actions. Are we spending time on tasks that actually bring us closer to our goals, or just filling the day with activity? By returning again and again to the focusing question, clarity becomes a habit. This habit changes not only our work, but also our personal life, because we start applying the same principle everywhere. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do for my health? Maybe it's exercising daily, which will make eating right and sleeping well much easier. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do in my relationships? Maybe it's dedicating quality time, which will automatically reduce conflicts and build stronger bonds. By using this method, success stops being complicated. It becomes simple because one small action leads to another, and soon the dominoes begin to fall. As the book moves forward, it shows how focus connects directly with purpose. Without purpose, even strong efforts can feel empty and without direction. The authors explain that purpose is the foundation of extraordinary results. It gives us energy and meaning in every action we take. When people lack purpose, they drift from one task to another. They chase success, but never feel truly satisfied inside. That is why the book suggests asking deeper questions. Why am I doing this? And what is the one thing that gives my life meaning? When we connect our work with a larger purpose, motivation grows naturally. We no longer have to push ourselves because the work itself inspires us. Purpose leads to priority. Once we know what matters most, it becomes easier to choose what matters today. When purpose and priority are clear, productivity follows. We avoid distractions because we know exactly where we are heading. The book also emphasizes setting bold goals. Small goals keep us comfortable, but big goals push us toward real success. Think of goals as a map. The clearer and higher the destination, the easier it is to take the right steps. By aiming high, we activate creativity and resourcefulness. Extraordinary effort comes only when we commit to extraordinary goals. But big goals do not mean overwhelm. The secret is breaking them down into one simple step you can do today. This is where the focusing question works again. What is the one thing I can do now that moves me closer to my goal? Success is always built sequentially, not all at once, but brick by brick, domino by domino. Another lesson is about habits. When we focus daily on the one thing, it becomes part of our routine. Good habits make progress automatic. We no longer depend only on willpower because habits carry us forward. The book advises forming habits around the most important task. With time, that single habit compounds into massive results. Think of it like planting a seed. At first, nothing seems big, but soon growth becomes powerful and visible. Discipline is also redefined here. It is not about controlling everything, but about being consistent with one focus. Once the one thing becomes a habit, we need less effort to maintain it. Discipline turns into freedom because our choices become easier. By combining purpose, priority, and productivity, life becomes simple. We waste less energy and give our best to what truly matters. This not only brings achievement, it also brings peace, because we live with clarity and meaning. As we reach the final part of this book, the message becomes clear. Extraordinary success is never about doing everything, it is about focusing on the one thing. The authors remind us that clarity is power. When we know our one thing, decision-making becomes simple and stress reduces. Life stops feeling like a constant struggle. Instead, it begins to feel like a path where each step naturally leads to the next. The book also warns against the trap of saying yes too often. Every time we say yes to something unimportant, we are saying no to what truly matters. Learning to say no is not a weakness. It is a strength that protects our focus and energy for the right things. The authors also share how environment plays a role in success. If our surroundings are full of distractions, it becomes difficult to maintain focus. That is why designing an environment that supports our goals is essential. Whether it's a workspace, habits, or the people around us, alignment matters. Success is rarely a solo journey. We need supportive relationships that respect our priorities and encourage our growth. The book highlights that big success requires a long-term view. We must think in terms of years and decades, not just days or weeks. Short-term results can be motivating, but real transformation comes when we stay committed to our one thing over time. This requires patience and persistence. Many people quit too early, not realizing they were just a step away from breakthrough. Another important reminder is that success is built on simplicity. Complex plans and overloaded schedules do not create greatness. Instead, the most successful people simplify their lives. They protect their time, guard their energy, and stay loyal to their focus. The book closes with encouragement to live with purpose every day, not just in career, but in health, family, learning, and personal growth. Ask the focusing question again and again. What is the one thing I can do right now, such that everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? By asking it, clarity appears. By acting on it, momentum builds. Step by step, the domino effect takes place. And small, consistent actions lead to extraordinary achievements. The beauty of this philosophy is that it simplifies life. It replaces stress and confusion with focus and direction. We learn that less is more. Doing one right thing with full energy creates more results than doing many things with half effort. The authors leave us with a powerful truth. Success is not about luck. It is about focus, consistency, and the courage to choose what matters most. If we commit to this principle, our days will change. And over time, our entire life will transform into something truly extraordinary.